The alternate view. My alternate view is about so a little way back, still related to the draft.
Okay.
But it's about running back Ernest Davis, running back at Syracuse. One of the high recruited. He played for Syracuse for 3 years. He was the top. He made the All American honors in the twice while being there for the first 3 years. He led them in his sophomore year to a national championship with 11-0 season, beating the Texas Longhorns at the Cotton Bowl and winning MVP. One of the top running backs, actually will also be one of the top running backs coming into the draft, into the 1962. Yes, 1962 draft. He was then drafted number 1 by the Washington Redskins, and then immediately, actually being the first player, number 1 draft pick to be traded, immediately traded to the Cleveland Browns due to the fact of the owner of the Washington Redskins, which is no surprise, was an avid racist, and he did not want African Americans on his team.
Wow. I ain't know nothing about this.
It's very shocking, right?
Yeah, this is
fucking beautiful. George Preston. You can, I get the name out. Make sure you send some fan letter.
George Preston. I'll Google that right now. I want to see what his face look like.
Nah, he died in 1960. Died.
Damn.
Yeah.
He didn't even see them win.
Yeah.
He didn't sound like the black quarterback Gus.
He knew what was going. He was the reason I bring up this kid because he was one of the top draft picks that we never would know of. The reason why I say his name is because you probably will never hear his name because he died only 10 days after joining the Cleveland Browns due to leukemia that they found in him after signing with the team. So I just bring it up because I just think it's just an amazing, just an interesting story about a player that, especially coming out of Syracuse, New York. It really shocked me because as I was looking more into the Zaire Franklin and looking, then I came across a story and it's just like, wow, it's like this amazing player who could have been in the 62 draft. Like he was actually who was the guy that recruited him? Who was the one I was over there? Jim Brown was recruited. He was actually compared to being the same player as Jim Brown. Jim Brown actually considered him better than himself. And when he was joining the Cleveland, it was amazing because Jim Brown went to go practice with him, played with him.
What's his name?
Ernest Davis.
Ernest Davis.
He had he was classmates with John Brown and was roommates with Jim Brown.
So speaking of Jim Brown, he made George Preston at once said, Jim Brown integrated the end zone, making the scores separate but unequal. Wow. He was also quoted as being, for 24 years, Mr. Preston Marshall. His name was George Preston Marshall. Some people that want to look him up. George Preston Marshall.
Please
for
get that.
24 years, Marshall was identified as the leading racist in the NFL.
I'm going to take a little side note from what I'm going to because I'm going to continue the story. Just understand, remember a couple of years ago when they were making a big petition about changing the Washington Redskins name because of racism?
Yeah.
And they said that's ignorant?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All right, let me now proceed back to my alternative view.
Ernie Davis. That's what you mean. Syracuse All-American running back.
Yeah.
62.
Ernie Davis. He was classmates with Jim Brown. He was actually going to be either better or just as good. And just to say, I just bring it up as what could have been.
Right.
What could have been if Jim Brown and Ernest Davis ran the ball together.
I'll even throw another caveat on top of this. Ernest Davis was the first African American to ever win the Heisman Trophy in 1961.
Yes.
To show you how good this man was.
Yes. He was so talented that Syracuse retired his jersey, and the Cleveland Browns retired the number 45 jersey. He played not one snap, and his jersey was retired.
He was actually inducted into the College Hall of Fame in 1979.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. The story that goes untold, but yes, you can hear it here.
Shout out to Change of Pace Sports, the best urban talk podcast.
Because we give you them alternative views.
That's impressive. I mean, this guy, I never heard of him. I've never even.
I came across
him. He
him.
was the first.
Only reason why I came across because I was going through Syracuse, right? And I said 4-year starter. I said, how does that make sense? So I'm looking through I'm just going in, eyes burning, just looking like this is ridiculous. And then I see Ernest there. I'm like, what is this guy? Like, I never heard best running back. That never what?
Guys, I'm like,
what?
He was considered better than Jim Brown, and we consider Jim Brown probably the best.
Jim Brown himself considered him better than him.
Like Jim Brown said.
And if you look in his first 3 seasons, he ran 98 attempts for 600 yards, 100 attempts for 800, almost 900 yards, 150 attempts for 800 yards. He averaged at least 6.6 yards per carry, 20 touchdowns in 3 seasons, and he was one of the first catchers out the backfield.
I'm just shocked that I just didn't know that the first African American Heisman Trophy winner. Like, why is that not even?
That's not even
like Black History Month comes up. Why is it not even on ESPN? Like, what? Why is it never came one to 30 for 30? Or is it?
First, so yeah, that was.
So I mean, shout out to the 30 for 30 guys. You got something y'all got to get on right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story right here that definitely could be on Outside the Lines or something.
I'm just saying.
Once I pick this up.
Yeah, because once I seen it, I said, "What? What's the name? First African American." I thought the first African. I was like, "Wait, Charles." I was like, "Wait, that's the first African American."
I thought it was OJ. I thought it was OJ.
I just assumed someone else, and then you just sit there and look like it was a real solid guy. And then 60s, the same time where these players were out there, these players that we glorify.
Nice.
And he just sat in the midst of just.
And then he passed away 23.
23 years old.
Jordan number, this is why do we? Well,
and he came out of born in Pennsylvania. 6'2", 212 pounds. Man was a
shout out to
wrecking ball.
Philadelphia, free Muba.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Shout out to my man Meek Mill. He back out.
That's just a sad story. I just wanted to share that. To bring up
That's an incredible alternative view right there.
Yeah, that's dope.
So he's speaking on NFL Draft, one of the most notorious, infamous number 1 picks that we don't really know much about. That's one of the most infamous we know about. John Elway. We know about Peyton Manning. We know about Michael Vick as the number 1 pick, but we have a guy that's better than Jim Brown, who's the iconic Cleveland Browns, and there's somebody that was in his classmate better than him.
I thought that was a perfect story for our show today about the draft class. About a player that was drafted, was talented, that never even seen the field.
So with that being said, a lot of you players out there that get drafted that don't fulfill your potential, this is a great story that y'all need to look at and actually look in the mirror and go a little harder that next morning. Period.
It can go any day, man. Any day.
Somebody that talented that never got a chance to be great. That makes everybody want to find their greatness.
That's a fact. I think he even also signed the most expensive contract, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be more impressive.
No, wait. Let me get that. Let me make sure. Yeah. Davis signed a 3-year. Yes, sorry. He signed a 3-year, $200,000 contract with the Cleveland Browns. Mind you, this is 1961. He signed this contract in December while preparing to play the East and West Shrine game. They signed him cash money while he was still in college. While he's playing the Shrine game that these kids still play today. These games where you're just showcasing, I could play.
Yeah, and then they had 2 leagues drafted him. The AFL and the NFL drafted him.
AFL, yes.
So it's this guy was just one of those special plays that for some reason that history is kind of missed a little bit.
It was the most lucrative contract for an NFL rookie of that time.
Wow,
you just think about this. It's amazing.
So one more time, Ernie Davis is a legendary Cleveland Browns Syracuse running back. Ernie Davis.
Ernie Davis, number 45.
Wow.